Julia Walker. I'm applying for recreational riding level 2. I'm 26 years old. I've been teaching at Flying W Ranch in Hillsborough, North Carolina for about 6 years. This is Abigail Capel. She's 11 years old. She's just started competing. The goal for 2018 is she wants to ride in both English and Western classes. Dixie is her horse today. Dixie's 17 years old as of February 2018. Dixie's originally broken for Hunter Under Saddle and Western, what is it? Pleasure, Western Reining, one of those two. So Dixie's been off for several years. So we're steadily trying to get her back, bring her back from that. She's doing really, really great. So here we go, we're gonna hit this hard. We have several exercises. So let's say that you're not, let's move up a little bit. Let's say that you're not gonna compete. We know that these are not exercises that we normally do, walk, trot, canter, extended trot, these are not normally the exercises that we do in our lessons. So let's say you're not competing. Why would we do some of these things?
For safety.
Right, for safety. When will you see some of these exercises?
In the real world.
Yeah, in the real world. Maybe if you're riding at a friend's house, or maybe you're on a trail and you need to back up when there's no left or right. So we're going to do some weaving. We're going to do some figure eights. I'm going to have you go forward and backwards through those figure eights, focusing on control, balance, and accuracy. We are also going to attempt the box again. I know that was rough the first time. We're going to try it again. And we're also going to back through the L. Some other exercises you would normally see in trail classes would be bridges. Normally I would have a plank of wood out here, but I'm, alas, unprepared. So we know that this is going to be a project for her because these are not exercises that she is normally asked to do. So first, before we even get started doing any of this, I want you to know that if she struggles, if you don't get exactly the right thing, don't sweat it. If she does even one step right, it's a positive. It is. So do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
Okay. So go ahead and warm yourself up. The plan, go ahead. The plan for today is to get through several of these exercises. I 99% of the time divert from all of my lesson plans, all the time. So we're going to try to stick to the plan as best we can and work on the things that need work. So here we go. Let's get started. Abigail, I would like for you to pick up a trot. You can do the rising trot, please, over your cavalettis, and we're just going to do cavalettis first. So she already needs a little bit more up trot. She's not quite warmed up. She's not sure. Extra leg, eyes up. Whoop. Weight went down and she said, wait, hold on. You mean I have to work? So it needs a little work. That's okay. So already be focusing on the obstacle ahead of you. You're going to push more with your inside heel, blocking with the outside heel, extra leg, both pressure. A lot disorganized. Try again. All right, already be focusing on the center of the poles. Remember, don't look into the sun. Inside heel to push her around the cone. Outside heel with the blocking leg. Squeeze equal pressure in both legs. Good girl. Try not to focus too far down on the ground. Excellent. Can you do it one more time for me? Flawless. Starting to come around the corner. You need to tip her nose a little bit to the inside, flexing the outside hand, inside heel, blocking outside leg, a little more momentum. Try not to stare into the sun. Excellent. Very good. Thank you for switching your diagonal. All right, so in the figure eight, going forward, it is already a harder exercise. You're going to give her something to bend around with your left heel, flexing with your right hand so that she can bend her head around, pushing over with your right leg to get her a little bit further to your left. Push right hand, and then block a little bit with your outside leg. Good girl. So moving forward, it's not a hard concept, right? Little bit from your inside, your left heel. Yes, good. You want to move the horse's butt around, and then you want to block her when she starts to come out of the turn. Try not to bank into the turn. We're all guilty of wanting to lean in with their shoulders, and it throws them off balance. Okay, now we're going to back your figure 8. So I'd like you to add equal pressure in both legs and then block with your hands, looking at where she is in relation to where you are going to be, okay? You're just gonna have to really start to push her over to the left. Take your time. Backing is all, so she's like, I don't know. So a little bit of right rein, left rein in her mouth, just a tiny bit, and then relax the pressure when she starts to move. Whole lot more from your lower body, as much as you can muster. Good girl, very good inside, it's your right leg's looking really good. She's not sure where she's going, so you're gonna have to start blocking with your outside leg, which is your left leg, and starting to maneuver her face with your left hand. More from your left leg. Go real slow, not too fast. Try not to knock the barrel. Good girl. A lot more from your left leg. Ooh, a little too much hand there. A little too much there. Good girl. A lot more. Good. Now look at where you're going in relation to where she is. Start to block with your right leg so that she doesn't get too far out. Squeeze in your heels. If she's not responding to just constant pressure, I would do rotating pressure or tapping. Oh, she's like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Going backward requires a lot more trust. So being patient with her, little right rein, left rein in her mouth as you're squeezing with your heels. Good girl, she gave to you. Okay, so she's actually nosing out a little bit of it, so you're gonna really have to follow up with your lower body. I know I'm asking you to say more leg, but it really does require a massive amount of leg. Try not to get your left leg behind you. It's gonna be mostly right leg pressure right now. Right leg pressure, and then just confirming the direction with the horse's face, because she's really bending and flexing away from where she's supposed to be. You know you're doing it right when the horse has very little curvature in her crest. Lovely. Good girl. Give her a pat. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna walk forward through the L. I want you to halt when her shoulder is nice and straight with the end of your L, and then I want you to back through it, okay? All right, go ahead. Remember, it's not a speed thing. She doesn't need to be a speed demon. Push her a little bit over with your inside heel, okay? Good. Letting her stop, get her thoughts, and then ask for the next thing. So good, looking around you. Block a little bit in your hand, and already start to, as soon as her hip gets ready to clear that corner, you really need to cue with your right leg. Lot more from your right. So much more. If you have to, rotate your heel into her or tap her. Remember, the hand only confirms the direction. Squeeze in both heels. That neck is already flexing way into the side. She can turn her head and move her body in an opposing direction. Well, you managed to do it. Let's try it one more time. Walk forward through the L, please. That's a success in and of itself. This is not an exercise we regularly practice, so you should walk a little further forward so she has a little more time to think about that. Forward is a motion that she's comfortable with. Halting is a motion she's comfortable with. Now let's do something she's uncomfortable with. Start asking for the back. Sitting deeply in your seat, sitting up straight, good looking around you, excellent. Closing of your fingers just a tiny bit and squeezing equal pressure in both legs. When the point of her hip comes to that corner like it is now, start to really organize her rear end. Push more with the right leg. Right. So much more. Oh my gosh. It doesn't count if you move the whole L out. Give her a pat. She is doing it for you, and she's doing it relatively cooperatively. She's not swishing her tail. You're not hurting her mouth or anything, so this is a hard concept. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to leave the poles just the way it is. Walk forward, please. This time, I really want you to be conscious of that corner, okay? I know it's a hard concept. Let her stop, think about it, take note of where you are in relation to everything else. And then squeeze, closing your fingers. Good girl. Point of the hip has passed the corner, right leg, and a little bit from your right hand. A lot more from your right leg. So much. Yeah, that was a beautiful turn. Very good. More from the right. Excellent. Give her a pat. Good job. That was excellent. Way to school, girl. Okay, so the next exercise I'm gonna have you do is the weaving, and I do not want you to feel like you've got to do a pole bending exercise. So if I were you, I would, and I'm gonna actually have you come at it this way so you're not staring into the sun, because you know that's bad for your retinas. So if I were you, I would actually make a point to first go slow and try to put my horse's body between the two cone points, okay? So instead of being like, it's too fast. It's too fast and it's too disorganized, okay? And it really makes you out of breath. So don't do it. If I were you, I would actually make a point to jog straight through the middle. Try to put my horse's body straight through the middle, ride towards the gate, start asking for the bend this way, and then putting my horse's body through the middle of these two cones, getting nice and straight. We've done this exercise in the lower end of the ring. I'm so sorry, I've got to do some cardio. We've done this exercise in the lower end of the ring before. It just wasn't quite as stretched out. So it's going to offer you a chance to work on balance, her a chance to work on flexion, organization, and then when you get to the end, as you're making your circle back into the weave, I want you to pick up your jog, okay? And if you feel like you need to make a hunt circle to get yourself organized, that's fine. And go. Good heel pressure. Thank you for not putting pressure in her mouth. So she really needs to be driven with your lower heel, and I can't say that enough. I know that it's kind of really, I wish there was less monotony when it comes to saying more leg, less hands, but that's really, I mean, when in doubt, leg it out, girl. I like the width that you are putting between each cone. You're gonna really have to space it out as you pick up your jog. Sit your jog, look at your next obstacle, and really, she's gonna look to you for direction. She's not really sure where she's going. She doesn't have or see the visual aids that you see. So be very, very clear, go very slow, prepare yourself for each cone individually. So go through the center, don't pole bend now. Good girl. Left heel and then right heel, and then left heel. A little too much with your right hand there. And halt. That was pretty clean. That was pretty clean. You got a little handsy. So let's try it again and try to do it with less hand if you can. She can be ridden. She can. It's a possibility. I'm not saying like take her bridle off and go Godiva on me, but it is a possibility. She can be ridden without a bridle. So let's pretend for a moment that you are an Olympic rider, and she is very, very sensitive to leg cues. And I want you to exemplify how sensitive she is. So essentially pretend like you don't have a bridle. Got it? So here we go. Let's try again. Turn her around more from your inside heel so that she can swing her butt around. You may also walk through it first if you would like. And as you're walking through it, think about doing it less with your hands and more with your leg. You know how sometimes when you guys are hacking and you leg them over and around each other and make circles and stuff? Use the same principle when you guys are just playing around in the ring. Do the same thing here. See if you cannot leg her over strictly on lower leg and seat pressure. Do the very best well, be clear on which direction you want to go in first. If you want to go to the right, be clear, because she's not sure. Thank you for letting her collect her thoughts. Oh, she's so soft in the mouth. And go. All right, so you're going to push her over with your right leg. Remember, we're going to pretend like we don't have a bridle in her mouth. Good, left leg. Woo, yeah, girl. Whole lot from your right leg. Yes, ma'am. And then left leg. Oh, yes, I can see when you engage it. Excellent, girl. Now you can pick up your jog. You may do a hunt circle if you would like, so that you can kind of gather your thoughts and get her organized, or you can go right into the exercise, whatever you want to do. Good girl, good job. I would still encourage you to set the head. Use the martingale that you have while you've got, yes, thank you. She's fighting it a little bit, I know. So left leg, and then start to cue right leg, and now left leg, and then right leg, right. Good girl, halt please. Excellent, that was actually a lot cleaner than the last time, don't you think? Yeah, and she didn't have so much bend, and part of it is she was anticipating, and part of it was you were more confident, and that's really, really good. Okay, so in conclusion, obviously we knew that going into these exercises, she can do all of them, but we don't normally ask her to do that, and that kind of goes along with muscle memory. If your muscles aren't asked on a regular basis, she has a harder time asking herself and figuring out which way she's supposed to move and stuff like that. It's also a huge trust thing. But I'm actually really satisfied with what we did today. Some things that I would like to touch on that we touched on the last lesson was the box, where we were trying to pivot on the front versus the hind, doing the rollbacks and the square turns. I know that we need work on that. And side passing, but from your point of view, what did you do today that you were really impressed with?
I think I used my leg pretty effectively.
Yeah, you did. Your leg was like on point, girl. That right leg though, right leg needs a little more pressure on the L. What are some things that you think you can work on?
Using left hand.
Yes, absolutely. Because what does that bit do?
It pulls in my mouth.
It does. It does. And it also adds pressure to the pole, and it puts tension on the cheek piece here. Like sometimes it'll pinch. And the only way that she can get away from that tension is if she flexes, and flexing means that she has to use her hind end, and we all know that she's been off, so it's a lot harder for her to use those muscles. So I'm really impressed. Some of the things that we're going to work on the next time that we do this sort of stuff is going to be like the side passing and the box, two things that we did not touch on today. I think that we are going to do a little bit more weaving, because that's just good information to know. The Cavalettis we practice regularly, so we will continue to do that as we're practicing our leads and organizing there. And can I just say, since this was your first time doing the barrels backwards, that was awesome. Again, why are these exercises so important? In the off chance that you were not going to compete.
For safety.
Right. What about safety?
It helps you.
What's the word?
It's like cucumber or something like that.
Unencumbered. You're thinking you're not encumbering. Yes, you are unencumbering your horse. You're allowing your horse to move. But primarily, you're preparing yourself for a sticky situation, essentially. You're keeping yourself safe. You're learning how to maneuver the horse's front end versus the rear end, and independent movements. And you're also basically keeping yourself on top of the horse and the horse between you and the ground, right? So that's what we'll work on next time.